Hello, everybody, and the faithful that are here. Margaret, Shay, Steve, Kate. We are here in Farmington at the Fellowship of Spirit. We want to thank you for, I guess there's Dawn and Neva, and is that Becky? Yvette. Yvette with us today. So we're blessed to have you all here. It's going to be a beautiful day here in the Four Corners. We've got Margaret here to give us a talk on the puzzling experiences can be gifts. Well, that's kind of interesting. I was kind of into a mode of timing is everything this last month. And sometimes my timing has been just amazing. So, and I've been very lucky this year, especially this summer. So I've got a prelude song for you, and we'll just go with that, see how it goes. I'm a little off today, but we'll just give it a wing and turn this off.
Did I disappoint you? Leave a bad taste in your mouth? You act like you never had love. Me to go without. You say, one love, one life, when it's one need. In the night, one love, but we're not the same. We have to carry each other, one. One. Have you come here for forgiveness? The lepers in your head? Or did you come here to play Jesus? To the lepers in your head? Well, that's too much, more than a lot. You gave me nothing, now it's all I got. One, but we're not the same. We have to carry each other, one. One. One, but we're not the same. We have to carry each other, one. I said one, yeah, one, one. There we go.
We got a whole verse, but that's okay. And now we have an opening prayer. Who wants to do the opening prayer? Surely somebody other than me. freestyling?
Well, we'll just say, Mother, Father, God, and all that is good, all that is pure, all that is light, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time. We thank you for this space, this place, for the all that are gathered here and all that are not, all that used to gather with us. We thank you. We thank you for this day, for this opportunity, and open our hearts, open our ears, open our minds. In the name that is all that is good. Amen. I'm going to switch this up a little bit. We'll just play Let It Be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in this world agree, there will be an answer. Let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow. Let it be. 'Cause I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comforts me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, Lord, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. There we go, that was nice and mellow. Now is a moment of reflection. And we say, love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. And now it is time for a spiritual reading. I don't know who's supposed to do. Aha, here we go. The wonderful Jerry. Morning.
Yeah, just send the words.
Yeah, it's not on.
Okay, this is from this lovely little book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, It's All Small Stuff.
I love this book, I really do. Practice ignoring your negative thoughts. It has been estimated that the average human being has around 50,000 thoughts per day. That's a lot of thoughts. Some of these thoughts are going to be positive and productive. Unfortunately, however, many of them are also going to be negative, angry, fearful, pessimistic, worrisome. Indeed, the important question in terms of becoming more peaceful isn't whether or not you're going to have negative thoughts. You are. It's what you choose to do with the ones that you have. In a practical sense, you really only have two options when it comes to dealing with negative thoughts. Study, think some more, or you can learn to ignore them. Dismiss, pay less attention to, not take them seriously. The latest option, learning to take your negative thoughts less seriously, is infinitely more perfect in terms of learning to be more peaceful. When you have a thought, any thought, that's all of it. It's just a thought. It cannot hurt you without your consent. For example, if you have a thought from your past, I'm upset because my parents didn't do a very good job, you can get into it, so many do, which will create inner turmoil for you. You can give the thought significance in your mind and you'll convince yourself that you should be unhappy. Or you can recognize that your mind is about to create a mental snowball and you can choose to dismiss the thought. This doesn't mean your childhood wasn't difficult. It may very well have been. But in the present moment, you have a choice of which thoughts you can pay attention to. The same mental dynamic applies to thoughts of this morning, even 5 minutes ago. An argument that happened while you were walking out the door on your way to work is no longer an actual argument. It's a thought in your mind. This dynamic also applies to future-oriented thoughts of the evening, next week, or 10 years down the road. You'll find in all cases that if you ignore or dismiss a negative thought that fills your mind, a more peaceful feeling is only a moment away. And in the more peaceful state of mind, your wisdom and common sense will tell you what to do. This strategy takes practice, but is well worth the effort. And I am practicing that today.
Unfortunately, humidity keeps changing. It's a little drier here than I guess under the... This is a wonder.
Doctors have come from distant cities just to see me. Stand over my bed, disbelieving what they see, and they say I must be one of the wonders, God's own creation. And as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. Newspapers ask intimate questions, want confession. Reach into my head to see the glory of my story. They say I must be one of the wonders, God's own creation. And as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. Ooh, destiny. Laugh as she came to my table. No, this child will be able. Laugh as my body she lifted. Oh, this child will be gifted with love and patience and with faith. She'll find a way, make a way. People see me, I'm a challenge to your balance. I'm over your head. I can sound you and confound you to know I must be one of the wonders God's own creation. And as far as you can see, you'll never offer me no explanation. 'Cause I believe faith smiled at destiny. Laugh as she came to my cradle. No, this child will be able. Laugh as she came to my mother. No, this child will not suffer. Laugh as my body she lifted. No, this child will be gifted with love and patience and with faith. She'll make a way. She'll make a way. Hey, hey. She'll make a way. Ooh. She'll make a way. That's a great song. And so now, I get out of the way, and Margaret comes up, and she's going to tell us all about it. So let's welcome Margaret Cheasebro, speaker and writer extraordinaire.
Great, thank you. Okay. So has something ever happened to you so unusual or bizarre that you kept it to yourself, unsure how to explain it? Or maybe you were worried what other people would think. Would they think you're strange or crazy? Maybe you felt so traumatized by what happened that you couldn't let yourself dwell on it. Instead, you buried it somewhere in your mind. Unusual occurrences do happen to people more often than we might think. A man named J.L. Meredith wrote 2 books in which he made lists of Bible facts. He called them Meredith's Book of Bible Lists and Meredith's Second Book of Bible Lists. In the first book is a chapter listing supernatural events. There are over 140 of them. Among them are such things as people who had visions, were struck blind, made supernatural journeys, and were raised from the dead. Though supernatural is a good way to describe those events, they also could be called puzzling, unusual, or bizarre. Sometimes the things that happen to us aren't quite as earth-shaking as those listed in the books of Bible lists. Even so, they're often puzzling or frightening, yet they often have deep meaning to us, though we may not understand them. Something happened to me when I was a sophomore in college that I have never forgotten. When I was preparing this talk, I went through a couple of the diaries I kept back then to find out what I had written about it. It happened during the month of March, 1965, late at night. I was half awake for about half an hour, having nightmares, one right after the other. I don't remember what the nightmares were about, but when I finally woke up completely, the nightmares stopped. I turned over on my back and closed my eyes. Suddenly, my mind was buzzing. I felt as though I were being lifted up from my bed in the soft arms of a cloud and into a mist. At first, I wondered if I should be frightened, but I decided there was nothing I could do about it, so I chose to experience it with interest. Without trying to, I found myself breathing deeply and calmly. At that point, I didn't realize that when you are in a meditative state, that breathing deeply and calmly is just what happens naturally. So 3 different times, one after another, I felt myself being lifted up from the bed in soft cloud arms, then being gently laid back down. Each time the mist grew thicker. Then as suddenly as it happened, the mist completely disappeared. I felt relaxed. I turned over on my side and instantly fell into a deep sleep. I've never told anyone about this experience before. For me, it was profound. It lifted me from a weight of what so many college students feel. Will they have time to do all their homework? Will they pass a test? Will they measure up in many different aspects of their lives? In the book of Genesis, Abraham has many experiences, some of them quite dangerous to him. More than once, God told him not to be afraid because God was with him. When we have puzzling experiences that we can't explain, as they're happening, it's helpful to let go of fear. Letting go of fear helps us to more fully grasp the meaning of what is happening to us, even though we may not understand its full significance. It could be that all of you have had an experience you can't explain, something that touched you deeply, maybe frightened you, but also helped you through a difficult time in your life. Savor those experiences. If you keep a journal, write down what happened as soon as possible. If you don't, you will forget some of the details, which could have more meaning later in your life. All I remembered about the experience in college was the sense of being gently lifted up out of my bed 3 times. It wasn't until I searched through my diary that I read about the mist. That part had completely slipped my mind. I don't know what the mist represented. I only know that once the experience happened, I was able to relax and sleep. If an experience happens to you, you have a better chance to learn from it if you decide not to be afraid. Just notice what happens, then write it down. God has told us in Isaiah 41:10, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Trust in God when those puzzling, unexplained experiences happen. Often they are gifts to us. We may not understand what they mean right away, but that's okay. They're divine, loving gifts, and they're given to us by God and the divine helpers He has provided for us. Occasionally, people write books about their experiences. One of those people is Stanley Milford, Jr., who was a Navajo Ranger. He is part Navajo and part Cherokee. He wrote the book, The Paranormal Ranger, in 2024. As a child of divorced parents, Milford spent his summers with his father, his great-grandparents, and other relatives on the Navajo Nation. His school years were spent in Oklahoma with his Cherokee mother. When he lived with his father, he was immersed in traditional Navajo teachings. He experienced the modern world when he lived with his mother. Milford had always wanted to be a law enforcement officer. His dream came true in 1997 when he became a Navajo Ranger. That's work that he did for about 20 years. Initially, the tasks of Navajo Rangers included protecting artifacts and other archaeological concerns, and then later protecting natural resources such as forests and waterways. Before long, the Rangers became a catch-all agency providing enforcement of timber, fish, and game, and the criminal code. All this was done on the 27,000 square miles of the Navajo Nation. Initially, there were 40 Navajo Rangers. By the time Milford retired, there were only 8. When his boss kept getting reports, just report after report, of paranormal activity such as ghosts, Bigfoot sightings, extraterrestrials, and Navajo witches or skinwalkers, he assigned Milford and his partner, John Dover, to add those investigations to all of the other things they were already doing. They spent 11 years investigating those events. They treated them objectively and carefully in a calm and level-headed way as they would any other investigation. They collected all the facts, talked with people who had the experiences, and spent time examining the areas in which they occurred. Their professional approach helped the people who were often frightened by their experiences. They felt that for the first time they were being heard in a respectful way and not laughed at. In one investigation of a Bigfoot sighting, they found bits of fur caught on plants where something huge had been spotted. They sent the fur to a lab, which reported that the fur matched nothing they had ever investigated and nothing they had ever analyzed. In another investigation, suddenly coins, quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies were thrown at them, materializing in the air when no one else was around. Over time, Milford and his partner realized that the paranormal experiences they had investigated were not limited to the Navajo Nation. They were a universal phenomenon. Eventually, they were approached by several different television shows, such as Unsolved Mysteries, Skinwalker Ranch, and Paranormal Emergency. They made presentations at many conferences all over the United States. Many people approached them with their own stories of paranormal events. It became clear that these people needed a safe space in which to tell their stories about happenings that had sometimes traumatized them. Milford and his partner provided that space. When they retired from being Navajo Rangers, they began responding to all kinds of requests and opportunities related to paranormal activities from many places in the world. Toward the back of his book, Milford wrote a list of 6 primary theories he has come to accept over the years, based on his own investigations and personal experiences and on traditional Navajo teachings. 1, the world is not the only world. The universe is vast, and there are many dimensions. 2, some beings or entities are able to cross from dimension to dimension, and sometimes to send objects from one dimension to another. 3, there are naturally occurring places in the world where it is easier for those beings to pass back and forth from one dimension to another. 4, there are human-made places in the world where turmoil, pain, and trauma have created paranormal hotspots. 5, negative energy is part of existence, along with positive energy, much like yin and yang. You cannot have one without the other. The goal is to keep them in balance as much as possible. 6, when we encounter the paranormal, it is an opportunity to question how we are living and to work toward enlightenment and clarity of purpose. Toward the end of his book, Milford wrote, "We must recognize how out of balance our world and our lives are, and how grotesque our treatment of the earth and one another is. And we must live better. We must do better. We must come back into balance with our environment and find clarity of purpose." Milford suggests what to do if you have an experience with the paranormal. And there's 4 different things. I have them up here if anybody wants one. There's also some in the lobby. So here are the things he's suggesting that you ask. Why did this happen? What have I been missing, ignoring, or forgetting? How can I live my life better? How can I be a better person? When I think about the experience I had as a sophomore in college, I have no idea how to explain it. Was it paranormal? Was it God sending his loving divine helpers to assist me during a time of stress? The only thing I know is that I felt tenderly cared for. The experience released me from some of the worry I carried. If you have had unusual experiences and don't know how to explain, think about applying Milford's questions to those experiences and see if they might give you more insight. Why did this happen? What have I been missing, ignoring, or forgetting? How can I live my life better? How can I be a better person? At conferences and other places where Milford speaks, he is sometimes asked how far his belief in the paranormal extends. He thinks the question is wrong-headed because the paranormal is not a matter of belief, but of reality. I have seen things, he said, with my own eyes, and investigated them with all the tools at my disposal as a law enforcement officer and a Navajo. I do not believe in the paranormal. Rather, I acknowledge its reality. My skepticism is as intact as it ever was. But I no longer doubt the existence of powers beyond our comprehension. He is concerned that there are fewer medicine men than there used to be, and fewer children who grow up learning the ways of medicine men and eventually become medicine men or women themselves. As their vast experience and knowledge is being slowly lost, there will be fewer healers who can assist these people in ways not known to Western trained medical doctors and nurses. And to reinforce that, he told about an experience where this Navajo lady had married an Anglo man, and he was a big guy, and he was a little bit loud, and he liked to laugh, and his personality didn't always mesh with many of the Navajo people. And so there were some people who weren't happy with him. And one day, a dog came through his property. It was a strange looking dog, and it looked like it might have rabies. So he grabbed a big board, and he smashed the dog and checked to see if it was dead. It was, but out of the dog came this kind of a powdery something. And by the next day, that man was very, very sick. And his Navajo wife immediately loaded him into a truck and took him to a medicine man. And the medicine man used a lot of different herbs and things, and the man was cured. And he said what happened was that was a skinwalker. It was a Navajo witch, and it was sent to you by someone who was angry or upset with you. So what happens if there aren't enough medicine men who know how to deal with these things to help people like that? So puzzling experiences, whether paranormal or just unusual, are not to be feared. If we can recognize that within them are gifts we may not understand in the moment, then those experiences become something to value and cherish. Remember God's promise to us, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God." These puzzling experiences are like a treasure chest containing gifts to be studied, cherished, and recognized for their great value. Thank you.
Anybody got questions? Margaret? Comments?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Questions, comments?
I'd like to thank Margaret for her insights. Last Sunday, Kate and I went to our satsang at Kankar, and we're told to, we're studying how to study our dreams from the same perspective that you're talking about. And it's really helpful to hear what you're saying about paranormal experiences and how we should treat them the same way. Is that they're just part of the fabric of our lives. They're not something to be afraid of or to ignore especially, but to use as a tool. So we're going to take all this and thank you, Margaret.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Right on. Thank you once again for bringing us a unique perspective. Weaving all those things together. We're very lucky to have the speakers that we have amount of wisdom, life experience, and spiritual experience is just not going to find it anywhere else. I'm surprised someday that this place isn't full of people. But I guess a lot of people really aren't into, when we're just trying to make it day to day and get through the day, it's hard to look outside yourself and try to find something a little different. Everything's always the same and the pressure's always on in this country. Looks like we have a song and then the celebration of abundance. Okay. So this song, obviously out of order, but amazing true story. This is like John Lennon's response to Let It Be. Imagine there's no heaven. Easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religions too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will be as one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. Family of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will be as one. Imagine that. That'd probably be kind of it for me. Now is the celebration of abundance. If you're here or away, give whatever you can. We appreciate all that you give. Before we do this, we say divine love flows through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Through infinity, I and you are prosperous. We don't have no kiddos, so there's no celebration of abundance. We have our closing prayer with Bill, or closing thought. Are there any announcements? No announcements? I tried. Last week it was injured tongue. This week it's an injured ear.
Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is practicing tolerance.
Practicing what?
Tolerance.
Oh, yes.
Tolerance is the positive or cordial effort to understand another's beliefs, practices, and habits without necessarily sharing or accepting them. It's from Josh Sloth Lieberman. As we get to know people of different backgrounds and belief systems, we will find areas in which we have no common ground. Though we may not agree with the other person, we recognize that we have only our story, upbringing, and culture and beliefs, just as we do. We can discuss and face our differences, but the differences don't need to prevent us from interacting again. In fact, having more interactions will increase our capacity to empathize while holding our own identity intact. The walkaway is some belief systems and cultures are mysterious to me. I will try conversing more with someone who is different from me to further my understanding. Kind of matches with what Margaret had, is that do skinwalkers exist? I don't know, but there's people out there that have really experienced them. So there's always two sides of a coin. Y'all have a great week. God bless.
Amen. Well, that's really true. There's a lot in life. I mean, even science and physics is constantly advancing because we find out more things that what we thought we knew, we really didn't know. Now we know better. So it's like the clearer you see. That's what's amazing is that they put those telescopes out, and the farther and the clearer they see, the more that we learn. So it's all about vision, right? So closing, I guess we all get together and sing some songs. It likes me. That's that auto thing. If you click on it, yeah.
What if it's gonna like go for the group?
So, 1, 2, 3. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Weave us together us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. So let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. May you all have a blessed, prosperous, happy, fulfilling week. And until next time, namaste.
And thank you all for being part of my Sunday.
Just hit stop.